Why, hello, everybody, and welcome to the Truly Odd podcast, where we bring you the latest in game news and movie news. I'm your host, Joe Garcia. So grab your controllers, get your popcorn, and let's go ahead and dive right on into these topics, shall we? Starting with our game news topics of the day. And our first game news topic of the day is regarding Rockstar yet again. If you guys don't know, they recently laid off around 30 or so odd employees, and they're having strikes outside of their building currently. And we now have some more details about regarding an internal revolt possibly happening at Rockstar's with 220 employees demanding reinstatement for the fired GTA 6 developers. Let's go ahead and take a look at this article from Game Rant. So, according to this article, 220 Rockstar North staff signed a document demanding the reinstatement of 31 developers fired for alleged misconduct amid accusation of union busting. The IWGB and former employees have organized protests across multiple cities, with Rockstar maintaining its firing were due to policy violations involving a Discord server. With GTA 6 already delayed, industry experts warn that continued backlash and possible legal action could further disrupt development and release plans. So, you remember how they recently pushed the GTA 6, and I think this is the reason why. Not only did they let go of 31 employees, and that's going to be a very big hindrance for a game, losing 31 employees that were working on it, but now you have 220 employees that are demanding the reinstatement for the fired employees. So that's a lot of people. And if they stick to their guns, they're going to be joining the protests and they're not going to be working on the game. So that's probably why Rockstar had to move it to November. You know, you don't have a finished game. You got 31 people less working on it. Probably have even lesser people working on it, seeing as how they're being accused of union busting, and they really haven't shown a lot of evidence as to what happened on that Discord server that led to them being fired. So sad to see that we had all this go down during the close release of Grand Theft Auto 6, but it's really just goes to show how important your employees are to an overall development of even when you spend $2 billion on developing a game like this. And if you don't pay your employees and you don't treat them well, then this is going to end up happening. So the question now is with IWGB taking legal action, which we talked about recently in last week's discussion, it looks like we're going to have to see what happens not only with those legal actions, but now with 220 Rockstar North staff members asking for the other people to be reinstated. So there's a lot of drama going on with Grand Theft Auto 6, and this is just going to delay the game over and over again until this gets resolved, in my opinion. I think that's why they pushed it to November of next year. So we have an entire year to get this all settled and taken care of so they can release the game with no hiccups and hopefully no backlash in the news article that are going to prevent people from buying the game because of how Rockstar's treating its employees. Anyways, guys, that's a lot of details there, but all that being said, let's go ahead and move over to our next game news topic of the day. And our next game news topic of the day is regarding PlayStation could be pulling back from releasing its big games on PC. Go ahead and take a look at this article from GameRat. Insiders claim in excuse me. Insiders claims indicate wait. Insiders claims indicate. See, sometimes the sexiest sucks. Insider claims indicate that Sony may limit further first-person single-player titles to console exclusives, citing underwhelming PC performance. Valve's upcoming console has reignited console war speculation, prompting questions about how Sony and others will respond. Analysts suggest Sony could emulate Nintendo's hardware first approach, focusing on built loyalty through platform locked IPs, which honestly I think makes a lot of sense. Now, I don't know exactly what Sony's sales have been on PC. From my reading of this article, I didn't see anything indicating price points, how little it's made, if they spent more money putting it on PC than they made for PC players to buy it. I don't know. We don't know all those details right now because sadly, the gaming industry doesn't show the numbers as much as like the box office does for movie industry. So we don't really know what's going on regarding the PC numbers for console. But even if they're breaking even if they're losing money, even if they're making money, it's smart for them to take their exclusive games off of PC. And here's the reason: it's exactly what Nintendo's doing. You can only get Nintendo games on Nintendo. And with Xbox and with now Valve entering a hybrid console PC race between the two of them, according, Sony doesn't want to have anything to do with that. And if you're able to get PlayStation games on PC, then what's the point of buying a PlayStation? And I think that's really what's going to hinder them from making games on PC. On top of that, you also have emulators. So I'm not sure how Valve's going to handle that, but PCs are more likely to be, I wouldn't say hacked, we'll just say retooled to include emulation and things of that sort. So you'll be able to play classic Nintendo, classic PlayStation games on that. So you'll be able to emulate and do other things to PC type games and stuff like that. So I think that's another thing that PlayStation wants to avoid as well. So it makes sense for them to move their exclusive content back to fully exclusive and not even included on PC. Now, if they do that, I'm very curious how Xbox is going to respond, because Xbox has been putting their stuff on PlayStation, been putting themselves on PC. So depending on how Valve does in the market with their console exclusive, or their not console, their hybrid console, we're gonna have to see how Xbox responds. Because if they're doing well, and there's no reason to buy an Xbox, because originally Xbox was going to come out with this hybrid, and they were going to be the only one on the market. You know, bit of a console, bit of a PC, being able to play Steam games, Xbox games, possibly even PlayStation games. It was going to be looking really interesting for players to purchase that. But now that Valve's entered the race, they really don't have a leg to stand on it unless they make a super, super powerful Xbox. But we're going to have to wait and see what's happening in the next 2 years. But let me know what you guys think of this in the comments down below. Do you think it makes sense for Sony to go back to exclusivity minus the PC? And how do you guys feel about this? Let me know in the comments. All right, guys. That being said, let's go ahead and move over to our next game news topic of the day. And our next game news topic of the day is regarding Sony is issuing a takedown on fan revival of its failed shooter Concord. So if you guys haven't heard, a fan project reviving Concord has kind of started up and had sent out playtest invites, I guess. But let's go ahead and take a look at this article from IGN. So if you don't know what Concord is, I don't know where you guys been, but Concord was the failed game that only sold a certain amount. As a matter of fact, let me read to you guys these details and then we'll break it down, a little further. But volunteers have reverse engineered Sony's short-lived hero shooter for private playtests, prompting takedown notices and paused event invites. After a worrying legal action, Concord sold just 25,000 copies before being pulled offline 2 weeks post-launch, leading to the shutdown of the development Firewalk Studios and major financial losses for Sony. Following multiple cancellations, including The Last of Us multiplayer and Twisted Metal, Sony admits that the live service ambitions are not entirely going smoothly. And my question is, why the hell were you doing so many goddamn live service games at once? It's not a good thing. You should focus on one at a time. Anyways, that's besides the point. But the point is, it looks like we had some people that just reverse engineered the game. I'm very curious if they took like the disc versions that were available and kind of took the data off that to reverse engineer and get their own kind of servers up and going to run this game. Because there are a lot of, whether you like to believe it or not, discs don't just have you download it online. Discs actually have, files and documentation on them when you buy the game. So that's why you're able to install disc games even when you're offline. If you don't believe me, go ahead and try it for yourself. But what you're going to download is the update. So I'm very curious how they reverse engineer it. Now, I don't think these screenshots are from them reverse engineering it. I think these screenshots are purely from players playing it when they were available. Now, sad to say that they didn't last very long because of all the drama and things going on over there with the company and everything. So it does look like they kind of faltered on a lot of that aspect when it came to this game. So yeah, guys, let me know if you guys had a chance to be invited to this playtest and how this game turned out. I wasn't very interested in Concord, but the only thing that got me interested, and probably the only thing that got a lot of players interested in the game, was them canceling the game so quickly. And that's why you have their their PlayStation controller costing so much money, because they are no longer going to be funding this game. So yeah, guys, let me know what you guys think of this in the comments down below. Do you think it's interesting that volunteers can reverse engineer a game like this, and even to the point where they can release a playtest, kind of? Let me know what you guys think. All right, guys, we're going to go ahead and move over to our next game news topic of the day. And our next game news topic of the day was regarding U.S. Congressman Roy Khanna. Khanna? I don't know how to... Khanna? I don't know how to pronounce his name. Anyways, has criticized Activision for using AI in Black Ops 7, calling for workers' protection. Let's go ahead and take a look here at this article from IGN. So if you don't know who this gentleman is, I don't have an image of him. The closest image I could find, and I actually generated this because every time I talk about AI, I figure, fuck it, let's use AI to generate an image. But this is, I asked them to do him fighting an AI server, so I did a little bit of a thing here on the left. If you can see, he's in the one in the box with the boxing gloves fighting the AI for us. But according to this article, let's go ahead and read some of the details here. But according to this article, it looks like players have criticized Call of Duty Black Ops 7 for using generative AI in visual assets, reigniting concerns over artistic integrity and job displacement. U.S. Congressman Khanna, forgive me if I'm pronouncing his name wrong. Anyways, called for legislation to prevent AI-driven job loss, prompting tax reforms, workers' input councils, and union protections to ensure equitable tech adaptation. Uh, Anyways, the publisher acknowledged its use of AI tools by emphasizing the human-led creative uh, the human-led creativity remains central to development, despite mounting concerns and gameplay complaints. Anyways, all this being said, so yeah, AI is not just an issue for video games. AI is an issue for every job out there. So it makes sense that they want to introduce some legislation when it comes to regarding the use of AI. Because let's face it, companies want profit. It makes sense. That's how companies function, and that's how companies should function. That's what keeps the economy going. And while, yeah, you can call them greedy, and while, yeah, you can call them all these things, if they could find a way to save money and make more money for their investors and stuff like that, they will do it. And that's kind of how you got to run as a company when you're a publicly traded company. Now, if you're a privately owned company, that might be a little differently, but publicly traded companies, your first priority is your investors. Your second priority would be your audience, or at least it should be your audience. Some people don't. Some companies don't really look at it that way. But the point being is that AI is going to be utilized. And the question is, how are we as a people, or how are we as a nation in the US going to handle that, or any other nation? And having legislation is the best thing that makes sense, because not only can you hold companies accountable via taxes for utilizing a certain amount of AI, via workers councils, so that workers can have say in how AI is going to be utilized in the workplace, or even having some type of protections to make sure that the people that are going to be losing their jobs could possibly get some training to utilize this AI, or training to move up in a position where they can learn certain things that they weren't able to use before. But this is all political mumbo jumbo. The whole point and why we're here is for video games. And the point for video games is we've had a very big year of major, major layoffs. And regardless of how companies want to input it and say it, AI is a big factor in this amount of layoffs that we had this year. So we're just going to have to wait and see what happens, because, uh, you know, uh, uh, I guess you can say this. Here's a great example of where I'm saying and why it's important to have people instead of AI. Most of the games that have been very, very successful are why is that? Because we had great and amazing creative people developing the games originally, and they made such fantastic games that you see remake after remake after reboot after new IPs for the same game, because of how beloved those original games were. Now, without the input of everybody on the fucking credits list for those games, you would not it would not be as loved as it is. And I'm sorry for going off on such a long tangent and rant. But as you can see with games like Concord, now I'm not sure what the utilization of AI was there, but games like Concord, newer games coming out that just aren't that successful, when you take away the creativity and the input of people, and you put it into AI, at least AI currently, maybe 10 years down the road, 5 years down the road, it'll be much better and I'll have to shut the hell up. But as of right now, having people input is the most key aspect of that. And that's funny because that kind of leads into our next topic. And our next topic of the day is regarding Ubisoft. Ubisoft to remove AI generated images on Anno 117 Fox Romana. I don't know what the fuck that is. Anyways, after fans backlash, let's go ahead and take a look at this article from IGN as well. So, fans spotted low quality AI generated artwork in Anno 117, prompting Ubisoft to confirm it was mistakenly included and will be replaced in the next patch. So, I'm not sure if these are the AI generated images here that they're referring to. As you can see, this image is kind of circled here, but I guess these are AI generated. I'm not really sure how they figure that out, but people are fucking very intelligent, so you never know. Anyways, let's go ahead and read some more details. The companies stated that the AI tools were used for prototyping and integration, but final assets reflect human artistry and oversight. Unlike Ubisoft's controversial uh hold on one second. Unlike Ubisoft Creative Action, Activision has openly embraced AI generated images for Black Ops 7, despite fans' criticism in the past titles. So, this is basically how I was saying to utilize AI. Having AI create for you the prototyping, the iterations, basically suggestions almost, giving you ideas and kind of bouncing off that back and forward utilizing AI. Ubisoft is smart for utilizing AI in this way because not only do you keep the human input into the game, but the creativity gets to stay there because AI is not going to be perfect anytime soon, and having it be worked on currently is the best way to do it. So, it's a balancing act. I'm not going to go over the whole rant that I just went over, but it's a balancing act with AI, so we're going to have to see how it all pans out. And I think this is going to be a continued conversation for years to come until we got a final input of what's going to be going on legislation, what's going to be going on with companies, but we're going to have to wait. But let me know what you guys think of all this AI stuff in video games and in other industries as well, and how you guys feel about all the topics for the game news. With that being said, guys, that does it for our video game news topic of the day. We're going to go ahead and move over to our movie news topics. And our first movie news topic of the day is regarding this past weekend's box office. Luckily, since we're talking later in the day, we actually have the actuals, so nothing's been summed up. These are the actual numbers that we've got this weekend. Go ahead and take a look at this result from Box Office Mojo. Now You See Me, Now You Don't came in at number one with $21 million. At number two, we got The Running Man at $16.4 million. At number three, we got Predator Badlands at $12.7 million. At number four, we got Regretting You at $3.7 million. Black Phone 2's hanging in there at the top five with $2.6 million. We have Keeper coming in at number six with $2.5 million. We have Nuremberg, I think that's how you pronounce it, at number 7 with $2.4 million. We got Sarah's Oil with $2.2 million coming in at number 8. Coming in at number 9, we got Bergonia, I think that's how you pronounce that, with $1.6 million. And rounding out our top 10 with Chainsaw Man, the movie, coming in at $1.5 million. So, the big sad news, and I say it's sad news because I really want this movie to be successful, is this drop for Predator Badlands with 68% drop. That is a massive drop for a movie like this. You usually want to see about a 50% drop, but I think this was opening weekend heavy. We're currently sitting at a worldwide number of $136 million. Now, I don't know how much this movie needs to be to break even. I'm guessing if the budget was $100 million, you will probably want to be at the $400 million mark. Excuse me. Maybe not to break even, but to be for sure we're going to get a sequel, because this movie did pretty well opening, especially it didn't break records, but it broke records for the franchise. Just it didn't do ridiculously crazy numbers. And look at this drop right here from 4. Oh wait, why does it? I have to readjust this later. I don't know why it's so zoomed in. But oh man, hold on. Let me see if I can. Am I zoomed in? Is that why? Percentage. Oh, Huh, I don't know why it got cut off here, guys, but let me make an adjustment if I can. Nope, that's sorry guys, but down here it says 40 million and 12 million. I don't know why I got cut off like that, but I'll try to fix that a little later. You guys seen the top 10 here? Not for enough. Okay, here's your top 10 numbers. Anyways, but now you see me, now you don't. I think surprisingly it came in at $21 million. I didn't think it was gonna do that well. I thought it was gonna come in after the Running Man because I've heard quite a good things about the Running Man. Now I did see the Running Man and I enjoyed the movie, but overall, like I want to say 2/3 of the movie were great. The last act just didn't hold, it didn't stick the landing. Leading up had a great time, but after we get Michael Cera introduced, and that movie's still good up to Michael Cera's introduction into the film. Not too many spoilers, but once like a certain car chase tends to happen after Michael Cera's introduced and all that stuff, kind of goes downhill after that. So don't want to spoil it too much, but I do think it is worth a watch, and it was a lot of fun. But yeah, guys, let me know what you guys thought about this weekend box office. Did you guys check out The Running Man? Did you check out Now You See Me, Now You Don't? And are you guys hoping Predator Badlands hangs in there? And what else do you have to say about the rest of the box office, if anything at all? Let me know what you guys think in the comments down below. All right, guys. That being said, let's go ahead and move over to our next movie news topic of the day. And our next movie news topic of the day is regarding the most recent trailer that just got released today, I believe, of Wake Up Dead Man, a Knives Out mystery. Let's go ahead and take a look at this article from Deadline. So if you guys haven't checked out this trailer, I'll have it linked in the description down below if you guys want to check it out for yourself. But this just looks like a fun mystery movie, and I feel like we don't get a lot of these anymore. I mean, besides the Knives Out movies, be specific, because I feel like the Knives Out movies have just been really phenomenal, and it really like scratched that itch for me of those mystery movies. Now I know we had the Hercule Poirot movies with oh my god, Death on the Nile and stuff like that, but those movies just weren't very good in my opinion. So I really enjoy the fact that we're getting good mystery movies, and I'm hoping this movie is as good as the previous ones, because this cast, what a phenomenal cast. We got Josh Brolin coming in. Josh Brolin's just been on a roll lately. We've done a lot of phenomenal movies. But me, my most exciting is Glenn Close. I think she's the best working actress today without an Oscar. At least I don't believe she has an Oscar. Correct me if I'm wrong. But I think she's absolutely the best working actress today without an Oscar on her mantle, and she absolutely deserves one. And I'm hoping one of these days we get to see her win an Oscar, because I absolutely love Glenn Close. I've loved her since 101 Dalmatians as Cruella de Vil. I'm just saying, that's how much I love her, and I've seen her do a bunch of crazy things in awesome movies like oh my god, what's that one movie, Fatal Attraction? Like, she just makes great movies. Love seeing her and everything she does. She even did, oh my god, what was that horror movie? She did a horror movie recently where she played like a bald lady losing her hair, but she dresses up like a Gucci a little bit, and like what a phenomenal performance in even that movie. Like, she's just an absolutely wonderful actress, and I love her work. So I hope she gets uh, the praise that she deserves. But this movie absolutely looks phenomenal. I love this trailer. It got me even more excited, and that's what a trailer's supposed to do. Really hype your excitement up a little more. The only thing I'm disappointed about for this movie is that it's not a full theatrical release. Because when it comes to movies that aren't going to be a full theatrical release and it's going to come out a month later or a couple weeks later, I have no desire to go see it in the theater. I know that's dumb to say, but that's just how I feel about it sometimes. Because I'm like, why am I going to spend $12 to go watch a movie I'm going to see in a couple weeks with on a streaming service I've already spent $20 on? Or why am I going to spend $15? Or why am I going to spend however much money? If I bring someone with me, why am I going to spend $28? And I think that's the problem that Netflix is having. So, but anyways, guys, let me know what you guys thought about this movie trailer, and are you guys excited to see Wake Up Dead Man, a Knives Out? No. All right, guys, let's go ahead and move over to our next movie news topic of the day. And our next movie news topic of the day is regarding Nintendo issues first official look at the Legend of Zelda movie. Set photos showing Link and Zelda in costume. Let's go ahead and take a look here at this article from IGN. So it looks like we got our first images of Link, of Zelda, and both of them together. filming in New Zealand. When you want beautiful landscapes and fairy tale land, you go to fucking New Zealand. Not God of War. Oh my God, Lord of the Rings did it right, so that's why they're going to continue to do this. And what a hell of an image this is. This looks absolutely phenomenal. Now, you guys might not like the casting, but so far from what I'm seeing, they look phenomenal in the roles, and the costumes look great. So let's go ahead. Official image reveals Benjamin Evan Onsworth, who I believe is this gentleman here, and Bo Barganos. That's her, I believe. Anyways, in costume, echoing Twilight Princess and Breath of the Wild designs. Production is now underway with speculation swirling around Ditchin Latchman's rumored role as Impa. I think it's pronounced Impa. Forgive me. I know it's sacrilegious to say, but I don't to Zelda. Forgive me. Anyways, playing Impa following early set leaks. Directed by Wes Ball, produced by Shigeru Miyamoto and Avi Arad, the film is part of Nintendo's broader push for consistent theatrical releases. So yeah, guys, let me know what you guys think of this imagery from The Legend of Zelda. I think it looks absolutely phenomenal for first imagery. Now, whether their acting performances are great remains to be seen. Whether the movie's going to be great remains to be seen. But just judging it off this imagery, it looks absolutely gorgeous. Now, I don't know if it has enhancements for the greenery and CGI in the background or their faces or whatever, but just based off these images, it looks awesome. And if we have visually the movie's going to look like this, I'm definitely looking forward to checking it out. Now, I know I mentioned I didn't play Legend of Zelda. I have played a little bit of Breath of the Wild, and it just wasn't for me. I'm sorry. I'm very sorry to say that, but maybe I should give it another chance. Let me know what you guys think in the comments down below. Are you guys excited for The Legend of Zelda live action? All right, guys. That being said, let's go ahead and move over to our next movie news topic of the day. And our next movie news topic of the day is regarding fake Avengers Doomsday leaks, fueled the social media, and got a lot of people confused on some of the imagery that we're seeing. And for example, our opening here is some of the AI imagery that was released. As you can see, it's not really Robert Downey Jr. It looks like more of like a Christian Bale, Robert Downey Jr. mix on the image right here to the left. But I'll show you guys some more details when we get to this art. Let's go ahead and take a look here. So, uh, convincing but inconsistent images of Avengers Doomsday cast members, including Robert Downey Jr. and Patrick Stewart, are circling online despite clear signals of fabrication. So, a lot of people are taking this to be true. Now, I'm not sure what the hell this swing set shit is here, but this is the imagery that we saw. Now, this is very interesting concept art of Namor. I don't think this is going to really be happen. But this doesn't really look like Robert Downey Jr. all that much. I'm getting Christian Bale vibes, if you ask me personally. But yeah, I think this is definitely not direct set imagery or direct leaked images that we're seeing. This seems to be some type of AI generation. And if you look right here at the bottom corner, you see like a concept art, I want to say, of Chris Evans's character as if he's going to be in the movie or not. And the other AI generated images could kind of be these two right here. Now, I can't imagine them putting a coat over the Fantastic Four sweater. It's already double the sweater. But yeah, this seems to be AI generated as well. As far as this pixelated one, while it could look cool, this could be any image of Patrick Stewart with a suit thrown over him with a circle and an X. But yeah, guys. So if you guys have seen this imagery and you guys got excited or got confused by it, just know that it seems to be fake. Now, whether this is true or fake, and let's just go based off it being true. This is much to do about nothing, guys. Like him being dressed like this could be a variant, and it has nothing to do with the movie. If Doom's face looks like this, it doesn't really matter because he's gonna have his fucking mask on, and they would not do this to Robert Downey Jr.'s face, at least not initially. And the reason for that is because you want people to know it's Robert Downey Jr. and you can barely tell it's him here. Now this one, obviously, why the hell would he look like this and look like this? Now maybe they're from two different points in the movie. Who knows? But yeah, guys, just be careful with what you guys are seeing out there, as a lot of people seem to be getting confused with a lot of these AI generated or fake imagery. Just wait for it to be announced. We are probably about to get a Avengers Doomsday trailer in about a month. When is Avatar Fire and Ash come out? Now, I think the tickets just went on sale today, if not yesterday. So if you guys are interested in seeing Avatar Fire and Ash, it's not one of our topics, but that's definitely going to be released soon. So on December 19th, so exactly 1 month from today, we will be getting uh, probably an Avengers Doomsday trailer. So just be patient, guys. Don't get overwhelmed with all these fake ass images because we're going to see a lot of bullshit leading up to this first trailer. All right, guys. All that being said, let me know what you guys think about this fake imagery. Do you think any of it's true? Or do you guys agree with me that you're kind of just waiting to see what's going to happen overall? But all that being said, let's go ahead and take a look at this last movie news topic of the day. It looks like Pierce Brosnan is open to returning as Dr. Fate in the DCU, possibly appearing in Man of Tomorrow. Now, I don't know if that's 100% accurate. I think that's just people speculating at this point. But Pierce Brosnan teases his return as Dr. Fate may come back. I don't think he really teased it, but that's what a lot of people are saying. Let's go ahead and take a look at this article. The actor expressed interest in returning to his Black Adam role, citing rumors of Dr. Fate's inclusion in Man of Tomorrow. He stated the following: I've heard that Dr. Fate was going to have his own show or his own movie. I've heard that he's going to be in the next Superman. The Irish actor said when asked if he would consider playing Dr. Fate again. The former James Bond star responded with the following: I enjoy that. I enjoy that. The philosophy of that character very much. I would definitely be open to it, meaning returning to the character. Gunn acknowledged Dr. Fate's presence in the Hall of Justice mural in Superman and confirmed that some featured characters are in active development. Now, I think Pierce Brosnan as Dr. Fate was the best part of the Black Adam movie, personally, and I would absolutely love for him to return as Dr. Fate. Now, I know a lot of people are going to say, but he's old and stuff like that. Look, he's 72 years old, and, we just had Michael Keaton, who was, I think, 70, 72, playing Batman. You got a lot of good stunt actors, and with Dr. Fate, you just really need him standing just like this, looking like the James Bond actor he is, looking fucking suave and handsome as he is, and just having him say the lines that he needs to say. Now, you can kill him off, you can do a bunch of stuff. Dr. Fate is, more the helmet than he is the man. So there's also a lot of different Dr. Fates in the comics, so you could play around with this character as much as you want. So I think them introducing a Dr. Fate in Man of Tomorrow would be absolutely awesome and phenomenal. I would love to see that. Now, do I think this is going to happen? Probably not. If James Gunn is it depends on what James Gunn wants to do with the movie. So everyone's currently rumored that it's going to be Brainiac as a bad guy, who's very tech based. He's a very tech based villain, and then you have Lex Luthor, who's also very tech based, and you got Superman, who's very like strong strength. So maybe we have a thing where we need some magic to handle some of the tech. That'd be very interesting. Or to have an introduction of a juxtaposition of all the technology and some magic introduced would be pretty interesting as well. Maybe we can introduce Superman's a little bit of vulnerability to magic in that movie, leading up to other things that could happen later on. There's just so many ways that they can go with it, but I think Pierce Brosnan returning as Dr. Fate would probably be the best thing for the DCU, because not just because I'm biased, but because of just his gravitas as an actor. Like, he just brings a lot to his performances, and he can bring a lot to this role, just like he did in Black Adam. When a movie kind of kills the whole DC universe. Look, let me give you an example. Black Adam was a make or break point for the DCU. Now, I know a lot of people were assuming James Gunn was going to come in, but if Black Adam made $800 million, if Black Adam made $1 billion, I'm sorry, but even James Gunn was going to have to incorporate what's going on in the DCU, what was going on with Zack Snyder's DCU. He would have definitely had to incorporate it if it made that kind of money. The studio would have demanded it at that point. But it didn't do very well, so they just dropped everything. Which makes a lot of sense that they ended up doing. But for everyone to go to the movie that kind of killed Zack Snyder's DCU and then pick it out and say Pierce Brosnan is the best part, you definitely want to bring him back. Now, I know he's kind of said we're not going to include these characters, whatever, but Dr. Fate is a multiversal character, so it makes sense for him to be part of that. Anyways, I'm going on a rant here, but let me know what you guys think about this in the comments down below. Would you guys like to see Pierce Brosnan return as Dr. Fate in the DCU, or would you prefer to go to another actor? And if you think it should be another actor, please let me know who you think that actor would be in the comments down below. Anyways, guys, that does it. That's a wrap for today's episode of the Truly Odd Podcast. If you guys like this episode, please like and subscribe. And always remember, guys, stay true.